Hi there, how was your day? What do you think of when you hear Pokemon? Do you think of Pikachu, Pokeballs, or a once good and beloved game series destroyed over time by games that just got lazier and lazier as time goes on? Personally, I'm in the latter camp. It's not that there are no good Pokemon games anymore. I loved Ultra Sun and Moon, and Legends Arceus was a huge step forward for the series, but it's become clear that less and less care is being put into these titles. Countless remakes with little to no thought put into them to ensure that there'll be something Pokemon related on the shelves for the holidays. Pokemon games that just don't meet the expected standards, and the series as a whole just not feeling as magical as it once was, despite it being the highest grossing media franchise to ever exist. And when looking at the Switch, this is unbelievably apparent. There are a few good Pokemon games to play here. They're either not bad, or they're Pokemon Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond, or Pokemon Sword and Shield. Both of these games are flat out bad, lazy, and not at all what Pokemon on the Switch should look like. This is Pokemon's big console opportunity, and we get Pokemon freaking Sword and Shield. But that's not all. There is one other Pokemon game on Switch that I haven't mentioned yet. The first Pokemon games on the Switch, in fact, and Pokemon's first real breakout onto the console market. And those games were Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, a HD remake of the classic Red and Blue games, and leading up to release, these games looked amazing. Stunning visuals, interesting gameplay, all with an incredible looking take on the classic Kanto region. But what's the game actually like? Did it meet the expectations of fans? How many adorable outfits can I stuff Eevee into? Well, do me the honor of joining me today as we dive into how and why Pokemon Let's Go is the best Pokemon remake to date. This is still the Kanto region, and so this is still the story from Red and Blue. For the most part. We still start off in Pallet Town, meet our rival, and then instead of meeting Oak and getting the choice between Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur, we encounter Oak and immediately run into an energetic Eevee which we are forced to capture there and then. This is where the story mostly differs from the first games. As you could probably guess from the title, Pikachu and Eevee play a pretty big role in the fact that they're your starter depending on which game you choose. Personally, I went for Eevee, as Eevee is far superior in every way, fight me. And because of this, there are a few altered story beats that incorporate your starter. For example, this adorable moment where Eevee gets to know you for the first time and my heart isn't melting, yours is. This also comes back later when you play as Eevee in the Rocket HQ, and oh my god, this is too cute. But that's not the only change to the original story, as our once threatening rival is now our friend? Okay, Game Freak, we need to talk. The whole friendly rival thing is a neat little shake up to the formula every now and then, but doing it for every single game, including going back to past games and changing it, isn't fun anymore. It's just boring and makes it so much harder to get invested. I want bloodshed between me and my rival, not a lovely budding childhood friendship. And it's even worse when you take a rival who's well known for being as hateable as Umbridge at times and try to make him this happy-go-lucky friend. However, as far as changes go, that's basically all the important stuff. This is still the game where you leave Pallet Town and take on the 8 gyms and the Elite Four whilst putting a stop to Team Rocket from time to time. Oh, by the way, Team Rocket from the anime are here now. They don't really do much, they're just kinda here. Neat, I guess. 7 out of 10. Not a bad story, and some of the changes definitely better the game, but man, I just cannot get over how they butchered Blue. Oh Pokemon, even in the worst titles, the world still holds up as endearing and sweet. This is a world that will never fail to be mystical or capture the minds of people everywhere. And this game is no different. In fact, this is one of the best adaptations of the world of Pokemon. The visuals, the music, and the gameplay all tie into each other to make this a genuinely engaging experience. And thanks to the Pokemon finally being visible in the overworld, the game feels that much more real. Shinies even appear as shiny, that's attention to detail. But what I find most amazing is that this is still the Kanto region from the very first generation of Pokemon, but the way in which it's been remade and tinkered with truly has made this a much more fulfilling experience. It's not that the original or any older remakes are bad, but I would say that this is possibly the best version of the Kanto region to date. Most of the things changed in the overall world are changed to make for a better experience, and I have to say, I'm all for it. 8 out of 10, a fleshed out world that builds upon the original. Okay, so this is where the discussion gets interesting, because the game saw some of the biggest shakeups to the Pokemon formula ever. Sure, we've had Megas, Z-moves, multi-battles and the likes over the past few years, but none of that holds a candle to the gameplay changes made here. Let's start off with what's immediately obvious. Pokemon now appear in the overworld. This is a well done, nice touch. I think everyone was thinking about this as a possibility for a while without Game Freak actually doing it, but here, it's really well done. All the animations and models are clean, you now get to choose when and what you battle, which is pretty neat, and like I mentioned earlier, shinies actually show up shiny. So let's see what happens if we run into one of these guys. Huh. Yeah, so this game introduced a whole new capturing mechanic built off of Pokemon Go's gameplay, and I've gotta say, I really like this. Like I said in my trendy gaming video, which you should watch, I wasn't the biggest fan of Pokemon Go, and for the most part it was because I would have had to actually go out there and do stuff. I mean, look at these arms, do I look like the kind of guy to participate in any kind of physical activity? It wasn't really that I didn't want to go outside, but more so that this kinda made it tricky to play. I can't play this game for hours into the night because playing this game at night means I risk getting stabbed. And if there's, I don't know, a global pandemic, then this goes from fiddly to play to pretty much impossible to play. So to have an actual Pokemon game with the mechanics of Pokemon Go is pretty neat. And that's pretty much all this boils down to, just the mechanics of Pokemon Go, only now with awful motion controls. Okay, the motion controls aren't the worst, but oh my god are they the worst. The Pokeball will consistently be flying off in directions I didn't even come close to throwing it in. Sometimes the ball will just flop on the floor like I didn't just throw my arms in the air like a maniac, and sometimes they just don't respond at all. Wii Sports had better motion controls, and that was Wii Sports. So yeah, the motion controls suck, but if you want to remedy this, then I'd recommend playing in handheld mode. In handheld mode, catching Pokemon is so much easier, but when one of the biggest points of advertising is you get to really feel like you're throwing a Pokeball, I kinda want to really feel like I'm throwing a Pokeball. And sure, yes, I could buy the Pokeball Plus accessory to experience that, but if it doesn't come with the base game, I don't care. The game shouldn't rely on add-ons sold separately, only on what's given with the game. There's also a cute little side mode where you get to play with Pikachu or Eevee, and yep, I'm in love. But outside of the new stuff, yeah, this is still Pokemon. The gameplay here is simple Pokemon fun with a bunch of clunkiness thrown in there. 7 out of 10, purely for the clunk. It's not often anymore that I get to compliment the visuals of a Pokemon game, but this is an exception and a half. This is one of the most visually pleasing Switch games, let alone Pokemon games. Everything here is polished as all hell, and the art style fits Pokemon so well. 8 out of 10, visuals that fit the series and generally well done. This game has a really solid soundtrack. Of course, with it being a remake and all, most of the music here is an updated rendition of an older tune, and yeah, it's well done. Nothing that will knock your socks off, but all of it is pleasant at the very least, and if you have that connection to the first game, I guarantee that there are a few tracks here that will give you quite the smile. 8 out of 10. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu are two loving remakes of classic and beloved games, but there are a few changes and mechanics that just don't work that hold it back for me. But if you're willing to look past those, then yeah, this is a great game, and in my opinion, the best Pokemon remake, even the best Pokemon game on the Switch. It's not just a lazy rehash now in 3D or a god-awful excuse to put a game on the shelf, but rather a remake made to celebrate the series and bring it forward at the same time. And now, without further ado, let's find out the final score. 7.6. Trust me, I did the math. Well, I've been Wobby with an IE, you've all been amazing, and I'll catch you next time. Have a lovely day.